KTN News.
Well, the youth have begun counting down to another round of anti-government protests. Organizers appear to be planning for a grand march into the Nairobi Central Business District and are considering transporting protesters from upcountry and hosting them in Nairobi. The August 8th march has been dubbed Nane Nane, drawing inspiration from the monumental Sabasaba protests of the 1990s. Here's our reporter, Dennis Omondi, with the details.
As President William Ruto breaks the tent he had pitched at the coast, Nairobi is beckoning with more to worry about, including a looming fresh round of protests against his government.
I'm proud to be a Kenyan. I'm proud to be a Kenyan.
The protests, which have lasted 7 weeks, have become a major pain point that refuses to heal despite the concessions made by President Ruto since July 18th, when protesters first lined up on the streets to demand better and accountable governance before embracing calls for the president to throw in the towel and resign with the entire Kenya Kwanza administration.
Wengine wakapiga no, hiyo kitu yote ikapotea. Sasa imerudi tena niende nifanye karabati ingine. Unaona vile watu wananitesa sana, ya watu wanasumbua. Na ni fitina tutupu. Oh, sijui umewekwa nini, sijui ya kansa, sijui imewekwa nini ya mashamba, na yote ni porojo na uongo.
Dubbed Nane Nane, a Swahili reference signifying the August 8th date for the march, the protest intends to be bigger and its schedule is already in motion. According to the plan, awareness creation and mobilization happened between July 24th and July 27th across popular social media platforms. Between Sunday, July 28th and Wednesday, July 31st, interested protesters are expected to plan their transport, including securing Nairobi-bound buses or considering carpooling and group traveling. From 1st until 4th of August, Nairobi residents will be expected to open their doors widely for their relatives and friends from across the 47 counties. Unlucky travelers will have to show up at hotels to book accommodation or put up temporary shelters at camps in yet to be designated areas. Ultimately, starting 5th August, the protest rights will have reached climax with activities including briefings from coordinators and volunteers before the eventual march to the Nairobi CBD. A deal between President Ruto and opposition chief Raila Odinga may have dipped their popularity among the younger demography, who have now fashioned themselves as the new face of opposition.
But then you say that if you want to take some of our experts and get into your government, you release them to join your government and work in accordance with the ethics of our party, ODM and Azimio.
Can we agree on those things and move the country forward on the things that are not in contention between the sides? And that is how we agreed with ODM to work on the broad-based government that captures some of the items that we all agree on.
The protesters insist that their mass action will be peaceful as concerns about police brutality linger on. At least 42 people have died since the protests began on June 18th, according to data from the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. Past protests have been marked by arbitrary arrest of perceived dissidents, deaths and injuries from gunshots, looting and destruction of property.
As citizens of this great nation, we all have a duty to balance our rights and responsibilities at all times so that the legitimate exercise of our rights and freedoms does not undermine our broader aspirations to remain a civilized, democratic, and peaceful country.
On July 18th, Occupy Uhuru Park protests were aborted after Nairobi Regional Police Commander Adamson Bungei ordered a ban that was later vacated by the High Court. A planned occupation of JKIA also failed to materialize, while a Thursday, June 25th march in memory of Kenyans lost in the protests ended in the arrest of participants, including activist Boniface Mwangi. Dennis Omondi, KTN News.
in business.